history of armed struggle against foreign invaders. The Philippines' colorful history records the immigration of several cultures to islands. The different invaders and immigrants have had a wide influence on the country's history and martial arts. The growth and progress of the Philippines as a nation are similar to the history and development of Eskrima and have always been an essential part of the Filipino society. Those martial arts were developed and influenced by the following migration. Malays from Indonesia and Malaysia are theorized to have made 3 separate mass migrations to the Philippines and brought with them the influence of Silat to the south. The first settlers are the Negritos. They came by the means of land bridges from Central Asia during the prehistoric times, and their favorite weapons were and still is the bow and arrow. From the 200 BC, the Malays from Southeast Asia came to Indonesia and the area now called Philippines, bringing with them the long knife. Those people are expert fighters with the daggers, spears, and the bow and arrow. A second Malay migration which began in the early years of the Christian era and continued until the 13th century brought other bladed weapons. At the start of the 14th century, a third Malay migration began and continued until the middle of the 15th century. These people, the ancestors of the present-day Muslim Indonesians and Filipinos, were religious fanatics steeped in Mohammedanism. They favored blade weapons but were skilled with sticks, bows and arrows of various designs as well as explosive weapons from guns to cannons. Arab traders brought sharp-bladed weapons and a smooth fighting style to the Philippine Islands. These Muslim settlers in the southern part of Mindanao were known for their persistence and skill in driving invaders away from their lands. Extensive trade relations with China in the 9th century brought Tang Dynasty martial skills. In the history of Chinese-Philippine relations, therefore, those 10,000 years of supposed past together have little or no importance, because the impact on us begins only in 1565. China is known for their fearsome prowess in combat. It is highly probable that those Chinese pirates may have had shared the fighting skills with the Philippine Highland tribes where they found refuge, because of trading with the Filipinos, bringing the Chinese a contribution in the development of Eskrima. The Japanese may have also imparted influence of the Filipino martial arts before their conquest of the Philippines during the Second World War. Trade with the Japanese was quite heavy during the pre-Spanish period around the 15th century. Thus, techniques were combined with the lacking martial arts methods of the Japanese. Of the many foreign forces who have invaded the Philippines, the Spaniards were the only ones that made a tangible influence on the Filipino martial arts. The Spanish business people who followed Ferdinand Magellan during the mid-1500s introduced the concept of espada y daga, or the sword and dagger, for instance, was borrowed from Spanish swordplay. And the natives were able to adapt quickly to this martial arts system. Throughout the ages, invaders and evolving conflict imposed new dynamics for combat in the islands, now making up the Philippines. As a direct result of an appreciation of their ever-changing circumstances, the Filipino developed battle skills. So each of those invaders, immigrants, outsiders, had made an impact on the Filipino stick and bladed-based martial arts.